Hey everyone, my name is Lauren. I'm here to talk a little bit about recovery, what it looks like, what it feels like, and I want to talk about being in recovery from addiction and learning how to be a part of your family again. A lot of us have hidden from our families, separated from them, told them we never want to see them again, we didn't need them, and when you get into recovery, you see that this is not true. Family is everything to me, and if I didn't have them, I wouldn't be where I am today. So, I'm not saying everyone's family is like mine, but I put them through more than they put me through. But when I was in addiction, I didn't realize that. I thought everything was their fault and I was the victim. And in recovery, you learn that that's not always the case. And it's our embarrassment and shame for what we did and how we acted that sometimes can keep us in addiction behavior or addict behavior, hiding and maybe not leaning on our support systems like we need to. So, how do we come back to our family? This isn't going to tell you like how to get sober or how to stay sober, but how to show up again after all that has happened. Because for a lot of us, the drugs weren't even the hardest part. The hardest part was the embarrassment, the shame, and the memories of who we were while we were using. I know for me, when I was in addiction, I did things I still cringe about: lying, stealing, fighting, saying things I can't take back, like mean things. Fighting, hard, mean, not fair. I turned into someone I didn't recognize. And when I got sober, I didn't suddenly feel proud or confident. I felt exposed. I felt like everyone could see that version of me. So, how did I get out of my own way and become a part of my family again? Well, the first thing, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this at all, but you have to be sober, like really, really sober. Until then, your family is not going to believe a word you say. And honestly, they shouldn't. And they will know if you're sober or not. We might think that we can hide it, but it's just doesn't work. Because addiction trains people to lie, even when we don't think we are, even when we fully believe that we're saying what we're saying in the moment. And once you do stop, once you really stop, everything you've been running from shows up. And it doesn't come back in pieces, it comes back all at once. And how you handle that shows really if you are using or not. So there are physical things: energy crashes, weight gain, sleep issues, your body learning how to exist without being chemically pushed. But there's also your emotional body. And that part can feel even heavier because now you're not just feeling your own emotions. You're finally seeing what your addiction did to the people around you, your family and your friends, the people who worried, the people who cleaned up messes you don't even remember making. And all of this hits at once. This is where I believe something really important and something I learned early in recovery. Just like on an airplane, when the flight attendant says, put your own oxygen mask on first before helping anyone else, recovery works the same way. In order for me to eventually repair relationships, I first had to stabilize myself physically. I couldn't fix emotional damage while my body was still in shock. I couldn't rebuild trust while I was exhausted, dysregulated, and barely functioning. For me, Adderall wasn't just about focus. It was my alarm clock, my motivation, my appetite suppressant. It told me when to wake up, when to move, when to eat or not to eat. I had to relearn to get out of bed without panic, how to have energy without forcing it, and how to take care of myself like an adult. Only after I put my own oxygen mask on only after my body started to stabilize was I able to begin facing the emotional wreckage that I caused. And this is where people get stuck, because it's easier to stay addicted than it is to face the version of you that hurt the people you love. Families don't pull away because they stop loving you. They pull away because the addicted version of you became unpredictable, unreliable, and self-centered. Addiction makes us narcissistic. I'm not a narcissist. I am very empathetic. But when I was using, I very much acted in a narcissistic way. Not because I was a bad person, because there was no more room for anything else. When I needed a substance just to function, everything else becomes secondary. And families feel that. They don't see your intentions, they see your actions. So how do you come back from all of that, what you've done? Well, you show up. Not with speeches, not with gifts, not with guilt. You apologize once, clearly and honestly, and then you stop asking for reassurance. You don't make your family responsible for your healing. You don't ask them to erase the past, and you don't demand trust. That's addiction behavior. What you do is you earn all of that back by being consistent. That means you don't ask for money, you don't play victim, and you don't explain why things are so hard for you, because everyone's life is hard. They didn't ask to be dragged through this addiction with you, but here they are. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's also very freeing. Because once you stop expecting your family to fix what addiction broke, you get your power back. And if you don't know how to do this yet, go to where people learn how. AA, NA, recovery rooms. And here's what I want you to do when you get there. Stay. And when someone says, does anyone have anything they'd like to share? This part always happens. Raise your hand and say something like this. I'm new in recovery. I have 2 weeks sober. I'm scared. I can't go to my family for help because I don't think it's their responsibility anymore. And I'm asking if there's anyone here for advice on what I should do next. I'm here and I'm ready to hear it. And I promise you, you will not leave that room with direction, phone numbers, and willingness to help you. These rooms are not filled with cult members. They are places where people learn how to live without buffering reality. They are free. They don't require any insurance, and they are filled with people who rebuilt their lives from nothing. This past Christmas, we had a family member come home sober for the first time in years. She had been deep in fentanyl addiction. She had relapsed many times, and this time she showed up differently. She didn't demand forgiveness. She didn't need attention. She was present, calm, and strong. And it was incredible to witness. Here's something I've learned the hard way. Sober adults don't drain people. They contribute. People in active addiction lean. They press. They need. They take. Recovery flips this. And once you understand that, your family can finally breathe again. The guilt will still be there at first, but guilt fades when your actions no longer match old patterns. You don't rebuild relationships by hiding. You rebuild them by being boring, predictable, reliable. If shame is keeping you away from your family, it's time to stop letting shame run your life. Shame is what kept you in addiction. Letting it go is how you come back home. I hope that this resonated with you guys, and I hope that you stick around, leave a comment, share this with someone who you think might need it, and Happy New Year. Here's to a sober, strong 2026.